Hello all, this is Maheshwari from Department of IT, Fatima College is presenting you the array concepts in Java. So we'll start the session now. So here comes the definition for arrays. So array is a collection of related data items with similar data type. So before entering into the detailed explanation about arrays, we go for why do we need array first of all. So we all know that in order to have a data manipulation, we need variables. Usually, whenever you are creating a data, that data can be stored in a memory location only with the reference of a variable. So whenever you are creating a new value, a new variable is going to be created. So according to the number of data that you are going to use, the number of variable will also be created and it is being declared and it gets used. If in a program, if you are going to have larger amount of data to be manipulated, no other way we have to go for large of variables to be declared, and in such cases it is very difficult for the programmer to manage the variable, and in order to have an efficient data manipulation, it is impossible just by using a variable. So in order to avoid these difficulties, we go for the concept called arrays, where you are going to have a common memory location which will manipulate large number of values under a single variable name, and this is possible by using the concepts called arrays. So in this session we are going to see about how to create an array in Java and how the memory is being efficiently managed when you are going for a large amount of data to be manipulated. So next we are going to see about how to declare an array variable in Java. The following shows the different ways to declare array variables. So type of variable name, and for which an example is given, double of mylist, where mylist is a variable name and double is a data type, as we all know that. And the other form of declaring a array variable is double mylist of. So this square bracket can appear either after the data type or after the variable name specification. Both syntaxes are equivalent and no memory allocation will be done at this point. Just we are giving information to the compiler that there exists a array variable called mylist, and that mylist is going to be in the data type double. So now this is a way in which you are going to define an array. So the syntax given for defining an array is variable name is equal to new type of array sizes. Variable name is given as number is equal to new, and the data type given as integer, and the array size is 5, which means that you are going to allocate a memory of 5 memory location with the data type as integer, and the common name given to all those 5 locations is going to be number. Similarly, another example, mylist is equal to new int of 10, where 10 memory location is going to be created under a single name called mylist. And the point to be noted here is the operator called new. New is the operator by which the memory is being allocated to that particular variable name called mylist or number. It creates an array using new data type of array size. It assigns a reference of newly created array to the variable name. And this is also possible that you can also assign values to the memory location what you have created in the program itself. And this is the way in which you can assign the values to the array. For example, data type array name of is equal to, within the curly braces you have to specify the list of values, and we call this as initialization of the array name. For example, int a of is equal to 1 2 3 4 5 6 7, in which these 7 values are the initial values that is given to the array called A and all those values of integer data type, and all those values can also be referenced with the help of the array index value. So as I already told you that an array is nothing but a common memory location that is going to be shared by number of values. So whenever you are going to access a value, there must be some identification to identify the value and to access a value, for which here array index plays a very important role. And in this diagram you can also see that how the array are declared and how the values are being stored, and you can also notice that my list of 0, my list of 1, my list of 2, my list of 3, all these are the index value. My list is nothing but the array name, and 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 and 9 are the index value. And by using this index value you can easily identify each and every memory location uniquely. My list of 0 is a memory location where 5.6 is a value that is being stored. Similarly, my list of 1 is a memory location where you are going to have your value as 4.5. So my list is a name given to the memory location, and all this locations is being divided into 10 memory locations, and each and every location is being identified uniquely with the help of index value. And it is not necessary that you have to specify your array size during the program itself. In order to have a dynamic array size, it can also be given during runtime. So as usual, you can declare a variable and you can get a value, and that value can play a role as a array size, as the program given here. Long of primes is equal to new long of num, where primes is the array name given and the data type here used is long, and num is a variable where you are going to get the value for num, and that can be used as a array size. And in this example we have given that the size for an array is 4 and the array length is displayed as 4. And the point to be noted here is, if you are going to have the array size during the runtime, the length of the array can be calculated, or the length of the array can be accessed with the help of length method, primes.length. You can just see that system.out.println array length is equal to primes.length, which means that you are going to access the length of the array, which means that number of elements that can be stored in that array locations can be accessed during the runtime, and you can also identify the length of the array by using this length method. For example, here they have given double of my list is equal to some 4 values, and that is being displayed over here with the help of for loop. And another sample program, how the array is being created, and in order to identify the minimum value in the given array values, the program that is being given here is to identify, or to in order to have the minimum value that is being created in the array. So they have used the for loop and if condition, and based on which the minimum value in the given array elements can be accessed. So in this program, int of array is equal to 20, 19, 1, 5, 71, 27, 19 and 95 are the values initialized to the array called array, and they have given the minimum as array of 0, and by using the for loop the minimum value is being calculated and it is being stored in the variable name called minimum. So this is the way in which you are going to have your array to be declared and array to be used with the help of for loop. And now we'll go for two-dimensional array. So we have just now completed one-dimensional array, and you can also go for, or you can also create a two-dimensional array. A one-dimensional array stores a list of elements as we have just now discussed, and now we enter into the next concept called two-dimensional array. A two-dimensional array can be thought of as a table of elements with rows and columns as shown in the figure. So one-dimensional, a particular memory location which is being divided into rows, whereas in two-dimensional it is being divided into rows and columns as a name. And you can also think of like this: a 2D array is an array whose components are themselves an array. Usually for each and every memory location you'll be storing a value in that memory location in one-dimensional array, whereas in two-dimensional array each and every memory location will also again be an array, it composed of some array elements. So to be precise, in Java, a two-dimensional array is an array of arrays. A two-dimensional array is declared by specifying the size of each dimension separately, and in two-dimensional array we need two square brackets like this: int square bracket and again a square bracket, scores is equal to new int of 12, 50, where here scores is an array name and integer, as we all know that it is a data type, and new is an operator where you are going to allocate a memory location. And here the point to be noted is this particular array will have 12 rows and 50 columns, and it frames a table. An array element is referenced using two index value is equal to scores of 3 or 3, 6, which means that third row, sixth column. A row stored in one row can be specified by using one index also. So you can also see here how to initialize a 2D array. So once an array is being created, as usual as that of your one-dimensional array, the values can also be initialized in two-dimensional arrays also. So this is the way in which you are going to initialize a value. So int my table of is equal to curly brace in the first set 23, 45, 65, 34, 21, 67 and 78, which frames the first row of the table. Similarly, the second row 46, 14, 18, 46, 98, 63 and 88, these frames the second row, and similarly third and fourth row is also being initialized. Usually in one-dimensional array each and every row will have a single value, whereas in two-dimensional array we are going to have a set of values. This frames a table. So this is how a two-dimensional array is being initialized with the values like rows and columns, and each and every row is being initialized and it frames a table like structure. And setting each value individually. Instead of going for initialization, you can also go for declaring a particular or assigning a value to a particular cell, like my table of 0, 0 is equal to 23, my table of 0, 1 is equal to 45, where you are going to have to be referenced each and every cell, and each and every cell will be assigned with the value. So that is being depicted in this diagram. So my table of 0, 0, which means that 0th row, 0th column. Similarly 0, 1, which references the 0th row and first column. So based on the column specification and row specification, you can assign reference a cell and you can also assign a value. And this is an example. So you are going to declare an array with a two-dimensional of 10 rows and 5 columns, and this can be done with the help of for loop. Each and every cell can be assigned a value with the help of a nested for loop as shown in this particular program. And here you can just see that for int r is equal to 0, r is less than array dot length, which means that this array dot length will hold the value of the maximum number of rows, as well as c is less than array of r dot length, which will hold the largest number of rows in the two-dimensional array. So by using these two for loops, you can just print the values of arrays with 2 dimension. So I hope this particular session might have given you a concept of a clear idea about the one-dimensional and two-dimensional arrays in Java. So thank you very much for watching this.